Welcome to Prescott's Animal Corner. It's a new show where we're going to be focusing on our four-legged, our two-legged, and sometimes even no-legged friends here in the Prescott area. Hey everyone, Rob Milligan here and welcome back to Prescott's Animal Corner. We are here back at the Yavapai Humane Society because we are focusing this episode on a very important aspect of animals and animals here at the Humane Society, volunteers. We're going to focus on dog walkers and cat cuddlers today, so let's go on ahead and go meet them. So we're here in the administration office of the Yavapai Humane Society so that I can talk to Allie, the volunteer coordinator, about how many volunteers did you say normally are within the whole organization? How many volunteers do you have?
Within the whole organization, we have about 130 to 150 volunteers, give or take.
And so what kind of roles do the volunteers play?
Our volunteers fill so many different roles. We have volunteers at our spay and neuter clinic, we have them at our thrift store, we have them at our front desk doing administrative duties, and we also have our wonderful dog walkers and cat cuddlers. Okay,
so now one of the things that's great about Prescott's Animal Corner is all of us love animals. So if I'm an animal lover and I want to volunteer here, how would I go about doing that?
It's super easy. You just go to yavapaihumane.org/volunteer, fill out my application, and then look out for an email from me to schedule your first orientation class.
Okay, great. That's really simple.
Yes.
So today we're actually going to focus on the dog walkers and the cat cuddlers, and you've got one for each of us?
Yeah, for our dog walkers, I have Gina Greenberg. She's been with us for quite a while. She's a wonderful person and a wonderful dog walker. And then I have Jhane Morello, who is our cat cuddler, and she's been with the organization, another long-term volunteer. She's just wonderful.
Okay, great. Well, then let's meet the volunteers.
And this is Tina.
Oh, hi Tina, how's it going?
She's one of our dogs available for adoption here at YHS.
So, Gina, tell me a little bit about Tina first. Like, what do you interact with Tina a lot? Or?
I have a little bit here and there. We get I like to say we have a high turnover. Dogs aren't here too long usually. So, this is the first time I have walked her, though I've heard good things about her. Yeah, sometimes we do get to know some dogs a little better if they're here more often than not, but I can tell she's a good dog, and all our dogs go through a very thorough behavior assessment too, just so we know what we're handling and what we're doing and what we're walking and how they are.
Well, she's very still and obedient.
She's a good girl. She's one of our green dogs, which means pretty much anybody and your grandma could adopt her. Well behaved. It's definitely something you get in the older dogs that you don't get with the puppies. We start out the day, we come in and check and see what dogs have been walked already. On their kennels, they have a little tag so we know their behavior assessment, their disposition, and if they've been walked already that day, so that way you can make sure the other dogs get walked too that need it. That's the nice thing here is they get full medical treatment, behavior assessments, any help they need, they really get here.
So, Dena, how did you get into being a volunteer?
I recently moved up here a couple years ago, and I started out as a volunteer with the cats, And so the Humane Society was great. The people were great. The community was fantastic. It really opened up a lot of doors for me. And I met a lot of people, made a lot of really good friends and stuff here. So yeah, I worked here for almost a year. I was able to quit and then spend my time volunteering for the shelter instead of working for them. I also do foster work for them, and I do work at their equine center with their horses also.
So I know it's an obvious question, but like, why do you do it? Why do you volunteer here?
The shelter, this being such a good shelter, not being a high kill shelter, not having issues like that. The people and the community, really, it inspired me. I really just fell in love with helping the community, giving back, and helping the animals. I've always worked for a lot of rescues, tried to volunteer my time here and there at equine rescues and such. But yeah, moving up here, the Humane Society just did so much for me career-wise and meeting people and getting out, and just really, I've really become passionate in volunteering, and doing the foster work has really become something I've become very passionate about.
Yeah, and then I bet the animals really appreciate
yeah, that's what we're all here for them, you know.
Exactly.
That's what you ask any of the volunteers. We're here for the dogs, you know. We're definitely here for them. They benefit the most, for sure. So, you know, we try to be the surrogate owners they don't have while they're here, you know.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
So we're back here at the Yavapai Humane Society, and we're here in the cattery, and I have Jhane with me right now. And Jhane, you are a cat cuddler? Is that?
Well, yes, and bio writer.
Bio writer, okay.
I come in and interview any cat that's over 6 months old and look at all their medical records, whatever data we have on them, and visit with them, try to get a little idea of their personalities and so forth. And then I write a bio and upload it to our website. We've had a lot of feedback from people who adopt that the bios are pretty helpful. Things like, well, this cat is really good with kids, or this cat loves dogs. Things like that are really important for people to understand, you know, when they want to adopt somebody. So we try to put as much information as we have out there for the public. And it's a lot of fun visiting with all the cats.
Yeah, this one's like super nice and friendly. And if you were to write a bio about Jazzy here, tell me a little bit about Jazzy.
What I would say is that she's very friendly, enjoys people, and is real personable. And I would also talk about the fact that her blue eyes and some of the brown in her coat makes me think she probably has a grandparent who might have been Himalayan. There's some Siamese in her, so I talk about that. But in terms of her background, anything that will make it easier for the animal to be adopted, we will then, you know, put that in the bio. Jazzy, I think, is going to get adopted pretty readily because she's beautiful and very sweet. She's a beauty.
Now, can we like pick her up? Is she?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. She'd rather be running around.
Well, of course, yeah.
But she's fine with being held, which a lot of cats aren't.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, most of the ones that I have adopted at home, they don't want to be picked up, but she's pretty good about it.
So now Jazzy looks a little bit older than like the younger kittens that sometimes you guys have here. Like, who would be a good like owner for Jazzy?
Well, I mean, I think she's about 5. So actually, I would say she would be good for any family. However, we're not, the one thing that we do know is that she doesn't like other cats. So she would not, and I would put that in the bio. So we would know she needs to be an only cat. We don't know about dogs, how she would react to dogs.
Okay.
So that's something that the staff usually can determine before they're up for adoption, and they let us know if they think that the cat would not get along with other cats.
Okay. Well, let's let
Wants to
Jazzy
get down and
run a little bit
play
more.
around.
And, I'd like to learn a little bit more about you, Jane. Like, what got you into volunteering here at the Humane Society?
Well, before we moved here, we lived in upstate New York. And when I retired, I volunteered for 7 years at a shelter there, was very active in cat adoptions and also writing the bios. So I knew 4 years ago, as soon as we got here, that I would want to be working with cats. So that's a very comfortable environment for me. And even though my husband and I have 7 rescue cats at home, I still love to meet other cats and work with them and help them to get adopted. So it's really a lot of fun.
So what's kind of the feeling that one gets when you volunteer here and you take care of the cat and then that cat gets adopted?
I love it. To me, it's a high. It's just
Like,
really, it's exciting.
Is it like a proud parent seeing their child go off to like college or
Very
school?
similar, very similar. Especially when we've had cats that have been here for a while. And Yavapai Humane Society is part of a program where we work with other shelters. And if an animal is here for a long time and it just hasn't found a home, we may move it to another shelter, so it just has a different environment. It would also be a no-kill shelter, and we take animals from some other shelters. When those cats get adopted, it's like, yes, it's very exciting when that happens.
Thank you for joining with us. Tune in next time for Prescott's Animal Corner. Bye-bye.